While playing video games, you always play as a hero and love defeating the villain. But have you ever thought about the feelings of that poor villain who didn't even choose his role? One of such game villains is Ralph. He's a part of a game called Fix It Felix. Ralph's job is to wreck the building, and Felix, the good guy, fixes it up with a magical hammer he got from his father. Ralph has been doing this job for 30 years. It's lucky for him that Fix It Felix is still a popular arcade game, unlike some other games which were turned off after just a few years. Despite this, Ralph suffers from depression. Felix gets a medal for doing his job, and he's loved by the Nicelanders of the building, while Ralph, even after doing his job efficiently, all he gets is hate. Once the arcade closes, all the game characters go to rest. Felix and the Nicelanders get to live in the repaired luxury building, but Ralph sleeps on a pile of bricks. He sometimes stares at the windows to witness Felix being admired, getting friends, and eating delicious pies. When will he get that? Ralph finally speaks out his heart in the villains' meeting called the Bad Guy Affirmation, taking place in Pac-Man Arena. Ralph asks the other villains why they can never wish to have a friend, a medal, or a piece of cake. Is it too much to ask for? The other villains suggest that he give up dreaming of the impossible, and they dismiss the meeting. Ralph reaches back his game, but notices that a party is thrown for the 30th anniversary of the game, but no one invited him. They even invited other game characters, but didn't bother to call Ralph, who's a major part of this game. He rushes inside and politely confesses his desire to join the party and have a piece of cake. Felix doesn't know how to say no, so he lets Ralph enter the party. None of the guests seem amused by his presence. Ralph walks to the cake and sees that only his model is placed on the floor with mud while others are standing on the building. He picks up his model and places it on the roof, but the building owner, Gene, says there's no space for him as Felix should be on top to receive the medal. Ralph gets frustrated and asks if the universe is going to explode if they give some appreciation to him as well and award him the medal just for once. Gene replies that he can never get a medal because he's a bad guy. Ralph gets angry and wrecks the cake. Then he challenges everyone that he's going to bring a medal for himself soon. Afterward, he visits other games to find a medal. A barrister suggests that he look in the lost and found, and Ralph agrees. He doesn't find a medal, but he meets another game character from Hero's Duty. The character is done being a hero who has to fight cybugs every day just for a lousy medal. As soon as Ralph hears the word medal, he willingly takes the hero's place and enters the game. Of course, he's inexperienced, and this game is a one with serious action. If Ralph dies out of his game, he will not be able to regenerate. Despite the risk, he plays the game, but accidentally blocks the main character. The game leader, Sergeant Calhoun, scolds Ralph for acting against the game program and tells everyone to return to the start position. Meanwhile, in Fix It Felix, the Nicelanders finally realize the importance of Ralph. Without him, the game is totally boring with no purpose. When the customer complains about the bug, the arcade manager puts an out-of-order sign on Fix It Felix. If it doesn't repair in time, it will be shut down forever, and all the characters will lose jobs. Felix takes the responsibility of bringing Ralph back and enters Hero's Duty. Before he reaches there, Ralph has already risked everything to reach the tower in order to get the hero medal. He succeeds in getting it and feels overwhelmed with emotions. Unfortunately, he accidentally steps on one of the cybug eggs. It attacks Ralph's face and triggers other cybugs. Ralph tries escaping in a jet, but the bug keeps following him. They fly through the game hall and accidentally enter the racing game, Sugar Rush. He falls among the candy trees while his medal is stuck on a high branch. Ralph also meets a little girl named Vanellope who keeps asking him annoying questions. She suddenly notices the medal and wants to have it. Ralph tries to stop her, but the girl is way faster than him and steals the medal. Ralph explains how much he needs the medal, but Vanellope doesn't show any mercy and runs away with the medal. Meanwhile, Calhoun is ready to enter Sugar Rush because a cybug is like a virus and it will destroy the game it enters. Once it finishes Sugar Rush, it will spread to other games and shut down the whole arcade. Felix is a naive character for a risky mission like this, but he's responsible for fixing the mess left over by Ralph. Calhoun is convinced and lets Felix join her. Back in the game, the ruler King Candy announces the start of the next race. The fee to participate in the race is a golden coin that the player earned by winning the previous race. As Vanellope is a glitch character, so she was never allowed to participate in the race. Therefore, she stole the medal to disguise it as a golden coin. She succeeds, but other players consider it an embarrassment to play with her. Ralph follows her there too, but he gets caught by the security and presented before the king. The king recognizes him immediately and orders him to return to his own game, but Ralph isn't returning without the medal. But it's already been consumed as a race coin, and only the winner will be able to get it. Ralph breaks from the security and runs away. He finds Vanellope talking to the other players. They all humiliate and bully the poor girl. Afterward, they start breaking her handmade cart. Ralph feels sorry for her and jumps in to scare away the bullies. Seeing his strength and urge to win the medal, Vanellope makes a deal. If Ralph helps her get a new cart, she will give away her medal after winning the race. Ralph has no other option, so he agrees. Meanwhile, Calhoun and Felix reach Sugar Rush, but they can't find either Ralph nor the escaped cybug. Felix is worried that Ralph will end up like Turbo. He was the main character of a famous game, but then he got jealous of his competitor and broke into the other game. Eventually, both games got plugged off. While searching, Calhoun and Felix accidentally fall in quicksand, but Felix has an idea. He asks Calhoun to keep hitting his face to make the Laffy Taffy laugh and hang down. He fixes his face with his magic hammer and climbs the taffy to get out. Calhoun is deeply impressed by him, but they don't have time for romance. They must catch Cybug before it lays eggs. Ralph and Vanellope break into the cart factory and build a brand new cart. They even mark it with their names, which makes their friendship bond even stronger. King Candy is informed of Vanellope's location and immediately reaches there to catch her. Surprisingly, Vanellope doesn't know how to drive, so Ralph drags the car out of the factory. Vanellope tells him to drive right into a weird mountain and they magically teleport inside it. It has a huge cola pool with Mentos hanging above it. This was supposed to be a bonus level in the race, but got cancelled. No one knows about it, but Vanellope found it by accident. Since then, she has been living here, alone. Ralph can understand how bad she might have felt, as he has also been through similar circumstances. But it's worse for Vanellope because being a glitch, she can't leave the game. Ralph feels really sad to hear that and wants to see Vanellope fulfilling her only wish. He makes a racetrack for her and teaches her how to drive. Ralph's wish is going to be fulfilled too, as the king has recovered the medal from the game code and is heading to return it to Ralph. Meanwhile, Felix is falling head over heels for Calhoun. He keeps admiring her beauty and calls her Dynamite Girl. That's what Calhoun's lover used to call her according to her tragic backstory, but he got killed by a Cybug on their wedding day. Calhoun gets frustrated with painful memories and tells Felix to leave her alone. After getting rejected, Felix decides to find Ralph by himself. He reaches the castle and asks the caretaker Sour Bill about Ralph. He assumes Felix is also a danger to the game, so he locks him in the dungeon. Ralph and Vanellope finish the training and get out of the mountain. Vanellope goes back to pick up something while Ralph waits outside. King Candy comes to meet him and gives him the medal. He explains that he's not a bad guy, but being the ruler of the game, he has to make harsh decisions. Not letting Vanellope take part in the race is for her own safety. If she wins, she will appear in the avatar screen and players can choose her from there. But due to her glitching, they may report the game and it will be unplugged. Other characters can leave the game, but only Vanellope will not be able to escape and die with the game. King Candy requests Ralph to help them save the poor girl. When he leaves, Ralph tries talking to Vanellope, but she interrupts him to present her gift. She has made a medal for Ralph that reads, "You are my hero." She did it, so even if Ralph doesn't get the medal, he will remember that he's still a hero for Vanellope. Ralph feels sorry for her, but he must tell her the facts. He explains everything, but Vanellope notices the gold medal and assumes that Ralph has made a deal with the king. When she doesn't listen, Ralph destroys her cart so she can't participate in the race. Afterward, he quietly returns to his own game. He looks at everyone, but they all have left since the game is going to be shut down soon. Ralph regrets his careless behavior and throws the medal at the console screen. He suddenly notices the Sugar Rush console in front of him, which has a picture of Vanellope. He returns to Sugar Rush and catches Sour Bill. He wants to know why the console has Vanellope's picture if she's not an actual character in the game. Getting scared, Sour Bill reveals the whole truth. Vanellope's wasn't a glitch, but it was King Candy who deliberately messed with the game code to turn Vanellope into a glitch. If she wins the race, the game will restart and Vanellope will recover. However, even Sour Bill doesn't know why King Candy did that. Ralph must fix his mistake, but he needs Felix's help. He reaches the dungeon and requests Felix to fix the cart. Being treated like a criminal, Felix has realized how bad it feels to be the villain, and he agrees to help Ralph. Afterward, they rescue and get ready to sneak in the race. Vanellope takes the lead over each player one by one. Even her glitch is helping her escape the attack of other players. Unfortunately, Cybug has laid numerous eggs and attacks everyone. Calhoun and Felix are helping the characters to escape the game, while Ralph is keeping the finishing line safe so Vanellope can win the race. She is competing with the last player, that's King Candy, but Vanellope's glitch helps her escape him as well. She was just inches away when King Candy attacked her again. It's finally revealed that King Candy is actually Turbo Woe, who's been hiding in Sugar Rush. Ralph leaves the finishing line to save Vanellope, and Turbo is eaten away by one of the Cybugs. Everyone is escaping the game, but Vanellope can't pass the gate, so she tells Ralph to leave without her. Ralph can't let his only friend die. He gets an idea and rushes to Cola Mountain. He wants to drop down the Mentos to trigger a huge blast that will kill the Cybugs, but Turbo comes again after mutating as a Cybug. Ralph risks his life to save Vanellope and jumps on the Cola Mountain. He may die as a villain for others, but for Vanellope, he'll be a hero, and that's enough for him. Vanellope can't see that happening and accelerates her car through the Cola Mountain. She saves Ralph and escapes the area before the blast. All the Cybugs get attracted to the blast glow and kill themselves. Felix fixes the racetrack and the finishing line, and Vanellope finishes her race. The game restarts, and Vanellope turns into a princess. She's the actual ruler of the game, but Turbo erased her memory to take over the game. However, Vanellope loves racing and wants to be president of the game with a democratic system. She wants Ralph to stay with her, but he has his own job to be done. Ralph is again the wrecker, but his game mates treat him better now, and he also gets the cake and a house to live in. Felix also invites Ralph to be his best man at his wedding with Calhoun. turns out that you don't need a medal to be a good guy. Such deeds are unconditional and done just for bringing happiness to others regardless of whether you get anything in return or not.